everybody. Welcome back to the Amateur Hour podcast. I am Aston, here with Spencer, and just us tonight. So if you're looking for a special guest, you're going to be disappointed. You are stuck with just us.
Let down already.
Yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about why we wanted to start this and get this going, and kind of what we want to get out of it, and I guess our goals for the podcast. So this really probably should have been our first podcast, our first episode.
Absolutely.
But we were just so excited to talk to me. We've also recorded this. This is now the third time that we've attempted to record this introductory, I guess, episode. So maybe the third time's a charm. Hopefully we don't screw it up this time. Our producer, who will remain nameless.
Yeah. That guy he sucks. Straight up, he sucks.
He's figuring it out. He's been struggling a little bit, but he's gonna figure it out this time.
It is the Amateur Hour podcast after all, so
Spencer. Spencer's the producer.
Thank you. But backtracking a little bit, why we wanted to get it started and kind of our thought process behind it. I know I talked to Aston and some other people, probably for about year and a half, 2 years ago when I first started reaching out to people, just saying like, hey, if I did a podcast, kind of just talking to different people, would you be interested in joining, and I kind of framed it at that time, somewhat in the mental health space, because, through my time kind of growing up and stuff, that's something I've kind of dealt with, I think, starting around what I said last time on the second recording of this was sophomore year. And I think it gets kind of, it's one of those things that's pretty heavily stigmatized, and I really don't see any need for that. So if we can have just kind of open conversations about it, since sophomore year of high school, when I was, what were we, like 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there? 16.
Sounds right. Yeah, 15, 16.
Since then, been a pretty steady battle against depression, anxiety for me, prescribed different medications over the course of, the past 6 years or so, and one of the things that has helped me actually is having conversations with all different types of people. I was hanging around some people at Ole Miss, and they were the type that would go out of their way and always talk to whoever, whether it be kind of janitor level or like, teacher of the class, or even kind of a bigger time personally, whether it be athletic director or someone in a higher position, talk to them the exact same way. And being able to see people do that, I started doing that myself. And I guess kind of naturally leaning towards me and how I have conversations and stuff. People would be pretty open with me, and I'd be open with them and stuff, and we'd have some not deeper conversations, but really just kind of about real stuff that really kind of matters. And I've in doing that, you meet a lot of people that are going through some pretty serious stuff, and I met a lot of people that were going through or had gone through way more serious than I thought I had gone through. And I was like, how are you seeing things so much more positively than I am? Like they've been through worse, but they're more positive. So that was kind of interesting to me. So whenever I was reaching out to people about the podcast, I was like, that was a big thing for me, is wanting to talk to people who have been through whatever their own trials may be, and have kind of come out on the other side and are better for it, and have some things to say and share with people who might be going through something similar. That's one piece of it. I think, that was a pretty big motivating factor for me. And then obviously, if you know me, then you're at least aware of Aston, and vice versa. I feel like our lives have been pretty entangled since second grade, first grade. Dude. Yeah. So, naturally it kind of progressed. Yeah, no, exactly. So, and then, I talked to you, and it's kind of led to this. I know we're going to get into some other not so serious stuff, because that's kind of who we are. So
that's why I'm here.
Comic relief. Exactly. Yeah. So,
but the reason, I wanted to do this is mainly just because I like hearing myself talk. And so if I get a chance to do that, I'm going to jump all over it. No, but I think, you had mentioned wanting to start this up, and, at first it was just like, oh yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I'll support it. And, if you ever want me on or whatever, I'll be happy to do it. And then as you started talking about it more recently, I guess really when I was in Georgia, I was like, oh, that'd be fun for us to do that together. I think it would be something that, we'd both be able to get available for. And, obviously we talk all the time, so it's not like it's super hard for us to kind of get together and do these little Zoom calls that we record over. So I think where I've noticed a change in you in the past few years is that you're good about being intentional with those conversations, and kind of like you said, I guess learning at Ole Miss, you're not afraid to dive into the deeper stuff. Yeah, Spencer's repping Ole Miss right now while we're filming. And that's something, and I give you crap for it all the time for having
everybody literally always has. Always.
Spencer says feels good. He tweeted something. But
Twitter used to be hell. I couldn't say anything.
Drake lyrics, and I've done it once or twice, but anytime a Drake lyrics on Twitter, check on your friends.
Check on your strong friends.
Yes. If your friend quotes Drake on Twitter, ask him how he's doing, or Frank Ocean. Just say, hey, man.
Oh, if it's Frank, you got to pull up.
Everything okay?
You just ask.
Everything all right at home? Yeah, but for me, I'm not so good with the more deep and serious conversations, as anyone who knows me would be quick to point out. Matt Brunson used to use the term surface friend. And I think I'm a great surface friend.
Shout out, Matt.
I can have a good time and go out and stuff, but I never really get on a deeper level, I guess, unless you're one of my real close friends. And so that's something, not necessarily having heart to hearts with someone every time I hang out with them, but just being able to talk
being able to
have more serious conversations with people and learn more about them, and not just, if you ask me what was going on in a lot of people that I hang out with life, I couldn't tell you. I'd be like, well, I know what they do for a living, but I couldn't tell you like what's going on with them and, how they're feeling and stuff like that. So I think that's one area where I could get better. And so try and do that. At the same time, talk to interesting people, talk about things that we like, and then just try and figure things out. Because I think both of us are kind of at a place where
in the midst of it.
It's a transitional period.
Yeah.
So just trying to figure it out as we go.
I think another thing that I know you and I share in common that I kind of look forward to having in these conversations too is the faith aspect. Yeah. And not everyone obviously like is going to have those roots and believe in what we believe in, but obviously, I mean, that's just part of it. There's people out there that we're pulling from all different backgrounds and stuff. So, we're I think one thing I'm specifically going to be kind of more open to and stuff is diving into those conversations and knowing what God has done and is doing in my life. And at the same time, not forcing anyone and not shoving it down their throat, just like, and y'all will see kind of in how we handle these conversations and stuff. I think that's something we do really well. Also, we're not afraid to talk about and open up about it, but at the same time, like, we've grown up around all different types of people and been around different types of people. So, we know how to establish where we're at and at the same time, not force it on anyone. So that's going to be something I think you'll kind of see as a theme too, throughout however many episodes, and something we will do kind of frequently. But like we said, this is probably the second or third time that we've done this. The last time we did it was last Tuesday, right?
Yep.
So last Tuesday. That's right. That was what, like the 11th? No, 13th. It'd be the 13th. So
yeah.
At that point in time, it was going into Tuesday, and we talked a little bit about the final series. We talked about music that was coming out that Friday and stuff. And obviously since then everything that we had talked about has happened. So we'll approach those conversations from a different angle as well, if kind of, forward looking, but also,
Yeah.
we have another guest coming on in a couple of weeks that I'm really excited for. I've talked with them for a little bit about it. I mean, they're one of the people that I
It's a
first reached
she.
out to.
We can give that away. It's a she.
It's a she, I guess. Yeah, we can say that. But she's been one of my closest friends. And she really, whenever I talk about people being outgoing and talking to anybody and everybody, she honestly was kind of the one that framed that to me and was like, hey, everybody is somebody, and we can all just go out and talk to them. They're going to meet you where you're at and stuff. And some people appreciate it more than others, but she was a big or a big kind of force in showing me that. So it's kind of
Influence.
interesting. Yeah, thank you. That's the word. Big influence in showing me that side of myself. So it's kind of interesting for her to be one of the first people on this. It kind of comes full circle. But
Yeah. And that'll
I'm
be a
looking
good
forward to it.
conversation because
Yeah, it will. It will.
she we enjoy making fun of her and she enjoys giving it right back to us. So that should be a fun one. It should be a fun one.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, so let's get into it. Game 6
Yep.
the other night. So we talked, I guess, after.
No, game 6 tomorrow, right? 8:00.
Oh, it is game 6 tomorrow. Yeah. That's right. So we're filming this on a Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday, game 6. Last Tuesday when we talked, it was right before game 4, I think, right?
Yep.
And so
So it's been 2 games since.
For the record, I told Spencer Middleton's going to have a game here at some point.
I agreed.
Next game. Yeah, he did agree. Next game, he went off.
Yep.
It's one of those things like, Middleton has 1 or 2 games every series where he, shoots 60%.
Where he's kind of that guy.
Hits all the big shots. And that was game 4. And then I thought Holiday was excellent the other night. Shot a great percentage, obviously made the huge play defensively.
He's defending really well against Booker and CP3. I feel
strong,
like he's really, really good. And I hope he gets the credit he deserves. I know he's kind of had a bad rap, sometimes in terms of just kind of his all around game. He doesn't disappear, but his impact really isn't the type that'll show up in the box score a lot of times.
It's just consistency, man. Because like sometimes when he's bad,
and Middleton both.
Yeah, sometimes, and when they're bad, they're really bad, and when they're good, they're really good. And so it kind of stands out more. But that's so, and I think I touched on this on the last one that we didn't get out. I listen to Bill Simmons a lot. They were talking the other day about like Giannis is a superstar now. Like there's stars and there's superstars. And I think the difference, which they kind of said this, and I totally agree, is a superstar is going to give me 30 pretty much every night, 25, 30. Like Kawhi Leonard, I can just chalk him down for, 25 in a playoff game. Giannis now, I can chalk him down for, 25, 30, and 10. And then, Middleton is, I would say, like a borderline star. Drew Holiday is probably like a borderline star, maybe not quite there, but it's just, that's not their role. They're not, you can't expect them to have, 20 plus every night and play really well, because that's just not, they're not in that stratosphere, I guess. And so when I looked at the series as a whole now going into game 6, I mean, it makes sense. The Bucks played well last game. And really Phoenix probably shouldn't have been in that game. Book played well, but like CP3, his stats were okay, but he still doesn't look totally right, I guess.
And that's something I want to touch on now, because last week when we talked about this, it was interesting, the narrative surrounding him. They were up 2-0, and everybody was it 2-0 or 2-1 when we talked?
2-1.
2-1. So they're up 2-1, and I know we had the conversation about, it's like, oh man, like if CP3 wins this, where does he fit in your top point guards all time? And we had an interesting discussion. So now kind of circling back to it, it's a sick twist of fate for CP3 at this point, because if he loses this, if the Bucks come back on him from 2-0,
Yeah,
it's not going
it
to be pretty
hurts.
for him. It's really not.
I think regardless of what happens,
Yeah.
and I think Milwaukee will probably close it out if I had to bet, which I may.
Because it's in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I think they'll close it out. Unless the Suns get like a really good Chris Paul game or
Mm-hmm.
Crowder hits 5 threes or something.
Yeah.
Somebody has to step up besides Book,
Yeah.
who's been great the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
But I think CP3 is a top 5 point guard of all
Ever.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think Steph is in there. Magic obviously is probably at the top of the list. Zeke,
Who's the other
Isaiah
one?
Thomas,
Yeah.
who my little brother, his middle name is Isaiah. And my dad will try and tell you it's biblical to sound better. It's after Isaiah Thomas. That was his favorite player.
2 birds, 1 stone. He's a smart man.
Yeah. Well, it's biblical, and it's also my boy Zeke. I don't know. The 5th one's up for debate, but
Yeah.
I think
Stockton. What you think? My memory's bad, so I don't know.
I mean,
I would need to see a list. But
Stockton's really good. Gary Payton was really good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to go look.
Yeah.
For the old heads, Bob
CP3 is obviously, I mean, he's positioning himself pretty well to be in that conversation. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah. So I guess predictions game 6, Bucks wrap it up. If they don't and it goes to 7, who knows? Normally
I really wanted to go to 7. I really wanted to go to 7.
And in game 7, normally you side with the best player, who is probably Giannis, but it's going to be in Phoenix. I don't know. That'd be fun. So I'm hoping for game 7 too, but I don't know. I don't really see the Bucks losing at home.
So whenever we talked last time, a couple of albums we mentioned were John Mayer's album, which is now out. And I know it had been released previously, but Olivia Rodrigo was one of our favorites.
She was in the conversation. She's fantastic. That's all there is to it. She's fantastic. Love the album. It's a tearjerker for sure. A lot of emotion. A little bit of high school emotion, but that's okay. It's all good. I texted my cousin. I felt really bad. I got a 16-year-old cousin, Kaylee, and I texted her and said, "What do you think of this Olivia Rodrigo album?" And she said, "It's a little middle school for me." And I was like, "Oh God." A 16-year-old saying that this album's too immature and I'm eating it up. I was like, this probably isn't.
Yeah, that's tough. That was a great album. I thought
it's a good album. Yeah. And then she texted me like a week or 2 later and was like,
Kelly, she's too cool.
She said, I made a mistake. I love this album or something. I was like, okay, you redeemed yourself. You can come back in the family.
Yeah. And then another kind of one that I would typically expect that from is Snow Allegra, but I don't know if you've listened to it yet. I listened to it. Yeah, I thought it was all right. The beats were a little bit different. It was a little bit different of a vibe, but I like that Lost You song a lot by her.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the new album. I need to. I've really listened to Mayer pretty much all weekend. For those that don't know, John Mayer's my guy. If I had to pick a favorite artist, I would probably pick him. I like all of his songs pretty much.
Favorite as in all time? I
think so. If you ask me like who do I have the most songs on Spotify, who have I liked the most, it's probably his stuff, and I know a ton of his songs, and he's done it again.
It's
really good stuff.
Like I said before we started recording, I think I've listened to the first 4 or 5. I've liked all of them so far, except like the one we talked about was that like why you know love me. I skipped that one as soon as it got to the chorus.
Yeah, it was a strange call. I don't dislike it.
Yeah, I admire the confidence and artistry that it takes to put that one out there.
Yeah, no kidding. I get when he's got a pretty good track record. I think he can, even if he released a stinker, he'd be okay. No one would really.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't start going like Eminem. Eminem's last 2 have been some clunkers.
He probably should have stopped. But what's that one song at MGK? Was it Headshot or Kill Shot? Is that it?
That was good when he roasted.
He's kind of rapping.
MGK.
Yeah, he was coming at MGK's throat. But shout out MGK. We'll dive into that a little bit. MGK's, his out of the studio life, he's doing well for himself. I think
Yeah,
he's got a
Megan
pretty good
Fox.
track record. Yeah,
For any
Megan
kid
Fox.
that was like in
Yeah,
pretty much anyone that was around when Transformers came out, you have to have some
yeah,
sort of a crush on Megan Fox.
yeah.
Uh,
No, he's done well for himself in that department. Who did he date before her?
I don't know.
Let me look it up.
I don't know who it was. We're getting in a dangerous, slippery slope here, talking pop culture.
We're getting into it. I like because I remember.
Who is
He did,
MGK
bro.
dating?
No, because he dated Summer Rae for a while. That's when he got my
Oh,
attention. I was like, okay, like
you know
MGK's
what?
got it like
Well,
that.
screw that guy then. I don't
Dude,
even.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like
Can I
MGK's
like
game
him?
is actually MGK's game is we got to respect it. I want to put
That's
that out there. Yeah. I
that's
mean,
impressive.
he's done well. Let's
No
see who
one
else.
will
I'm
ever
scrolling
touch
through right
Derek
now.
Jeter's dating history.
Yeah,
My man Jeter.
that's a tough one.
My man Jeter did well.
That's he's the GOAT, right? He's the GOAT status.
You talking
Yeah,
about dating history or baseball?
yeah. No. Dating history.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball depends who you
Yeah.
ask. He's up there. He's up there in that
MGK
too.
is coming for the throne. I don't care.
He's 2 for 2.
MGK is coming for the throne. But
And
musically,
I don't like when he raps. I don't. But
yeah.
I've only heard one song where he doesn't. I think you showed it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but it was
Yeah.
actually pretty
My
good.
ex's best friend. Yeah. No, he needs to stick on the rock stuff. Like
Yeah,
his
that
rap is all
much
right.
better.
He's got a couple of good songs, but like I think he realizes it now. Like that rock album was really good. I thought it was really good.
It was good.
And I'm like
That one
I've
song was
never
good.
really liked
I need to
MGK.
check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, check that one out. But shout out MGK. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Any more albums that came out this week? We hit Olivia. We hit
I like Vince
Mayor.
Staples' album a lot. I like Vince Staples. I don't know if you listen to him. That was
like that one.
Yeah, shout out Jared. He's been trying to put me on Vince Staples for a while, but I mean, some stuff is I've liked a lot of his stuff. It's not like I've disliked him, but this album was really, really good. And I texted Jay about it. I was like, dude, this album's really nice. And he's like, yeah, no, I think it's his best. So, that says something. I like that album a lot too. I think that's the only other one I've really listened pretty heavy to, since we recorded the last one that will never.
Lots of good stuff coming out, and we're trying to go on our songs of the day. We're trying to get, some diversity in there. We've got a lot of different tastes. I guess we like a lot of different stuff. Like today we had Genuine. That was me. I'll own up to that one. In Those Jeans, that's an all-timer.
I saw those jeans pop up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was on my 90s through today R&B playlist, and that came on. I was like, well, that was your song of the day.
Yep.
Because I just started.
I think yesterday we had
song.
Yesterday we had. I'm glad your audio cut out on that.
Did it?
Yesterday we had Ban Camino. Day before that, I mean, we're all over the place. We got country, a little bit of alternative, R&B, rap. We're kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
but if you do have a suggestion,
that's what I was.
Reach out to us, shoot it to us, and if you think the music is crap, you can also let us know.
Yeah,
so just shoot it to us.
This was not it, or hey, we like this song.
For sure, because I think we're kind of digging through like whatever we're listening to that day. It was like, oh, this one's this is it. Then we'll post it. But if y'all if y'all want to put us on something, please do. Our DMs are always open, and so we'll give it a listen. If we like it, we'll let
slide in our DMs
and
shoot your shot.
Go on and slide. They're ready at all times, open to anybody and everybody. So let us know. So I guess kind of circling back, wrapping things up. Why we want to do it is really just have interesting conversations with interesting people from kind of all over. We've shared a little bit of our background and our views and stuff going into it, which does play a factor in these, but at the same time, we're not really limiting these discussions to anybody, because I don't think that would be fair in serving the purpose that I think we have in mind for this podcast. We want to pull from different people from different walks of life that believe in different things, live different lives, just different than us. But at the same time, we all have, we all share kind of a common denominator in the fact that everybody that we're gonna have on it like is at least tight with us right now. You know, we might get to the point where we go out beyond that, but we're not gonna have anybody on here that we don't really get along with, you know, and that isn't kind of a real one, you know, like I feel like we got at least a decent feel for that. So, you know, we're gonna be all over the place with it. But
I feel like we get along with most people though, to be
yeah,
fair.
yeah. For sure now. I feel like at least in the past we probably made it a little bit easier to not to not get
Yeah.
along with
I'm
everybody.
not saying people get
But
along with us. People might
oh
hate
yeah,
us.
that's
I don't
true.
know. I
That's
don't want to
true. We
assume,
we
but
look
I'm
on
just
people
saying I
decently
can,
favorably.
yeah, I'll give you a chance.
No, but so I know we're looking forward to it. Like I said, in the next couple of weeks we'll have another guest on. She's one of my best friends, so that's going to be a really really good conversation for a lot of different reasons. Um, One, you'll get to see and meet her if you don't already know her. One of the nicest, most outgoing people I think you'll ever meet, and at the same
Mhm.
time has a really really powerful story that I think a lot of people can relate to. And that's really all we'll kind of say for now. But that's going to be a great one.
Yeah,
That's going to be a really good
for
one.
sure. Looking forward to that. And yeah, kind of like you
Yeah.
said, wrapping things up, just, um, excited to talk to people about kind of their story and hopefully learn from them. And I think the main thing we want to get out of this is obviously talking about things we like and having fun and all that. But really, I'm looking forward to getting to know people a little better, being able to talk about more, serious things, just more things than being a surface friend. Like I said, I think that's a good skill
Trying
to
to get into
have.
the bag,
And it's one, yeah, just
the friendship
have a
bag.
little bit deeper relationship, better relationships with people.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's something
and
I think people will be able to kind of relate to also, you know, like
yeah,
if someone is sitting in that same kind of deal, they have a tough time kind of having those conversations. Hopefully they'll see how we
all
kind of
those
handle
surface
those
friends out
and
there,
others do.
this
Yeah.
is for you. This
It'll
is
be
for
for you.
you.
It'll be
It's
fun for all of us.
I don't know. You've known me forever. I struggle when things get serious. I always end up cracking a joke. I can't just like
Yeah.
have the conversation. I make some sort of joke or smart ass comment to make things usually more awkward, but I'm trying to make them less serious, I think. So we'll work on that. And then, yeah, just trying to, I guess, learn from people who are either in the same spot as us in life, similar spots, or people that know more in certain areas than we do. And I think a lot of people our age are just trying to figure stuff out and, you know, figure out life. It's definitely an adjustment period. I know for me and you, we've talked about this. It's just,
Yeah.
we're still transitioning from kind of college life and becoming real people. Like we've been able to, like, I'm not a real person yet. Uh, Working on it though. So it'll be fun to talk to people and see if they're kind of in the
Yeah.
same boat, who's got it more figured out. Maybe people have it less figured out. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, that'll be tough, but
Because we're way
I would
behind the
enjoy
curve,
that.
I feel
Be a
like.
nice little ego boost. Yeah.
Yeah. Ask us some questions.
But at the same time, you know, I know we're kind of joking around. Like, I think that's something a lot of people struggle with is kind of comparison and be like, oh, this person's got their life more figured out. You know, especially right now, man. I get on Facebook or Instagram. I got on Facebook over the weekend. I had like 3 engagements and a wedding just popped up
Yeah.
back to back. I was
People
like,
are
okay, that's
married
enough.
and they both like
That's
have
enough.
jobs and stuff. I'm like, you guys suck. Make me feel
Nah,
bad.
but
Don't have your life so together, man.
we realize, you know, everybody's kind of at uh a different phase in their life, and also kind of jumping back to the mental health deal. Like I feel like it's way more stigmatized, and I know I'm kind of thankfully again, you know, touching on the face side, I'm more on the back end of it, looking back, and I've learned so much from it and stuff. And I feel like the conversations, it's not nearly as open as it should be. You know, people are forced to almost kind of hold it in and scared to talk about it and stuff. But like if you give it power, like obviously it's going to have that type of weight on you. And I now, especially kind of like I said, being on the back end of it, like I'm openly having these conversations with people and letting them know where I've stood and where, even day to day, you know, kind of sometimes where I do stand. But you know, I look forward to kind of shedding more light on that too, and just opening it up more and letting people know, like, it doesn't have to be like that serious and heavy and stuff. Like, so many people are going through it. So many people are going through it. And again, like I said, maybe from the outside looking in, have more going on and have it like way worse than we ever would. And that's not to compare situations and belittle anyone's, you know, anyone's struggles,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like, you know, it offers some perspective.
No, I think it'll definitely help us, you know, feel better about talking to people, like I said,
Yeah.
that are in the same situations or wondering the same stuff, trying to figure out the same things that we are. And hopefully it's helpful for people to listen to that and just those
Yeah.
conversations, be like, oh, well, you know, I think most people don't have it figured out. And so it can look like someone might from the outside. And once we start these conversations, I have a feeling we'll see that, you know, some things might not be as they appear. And you know, people are going
Yeah.
through things that we don't
Absolutely.
see just from, you know, from the outside looking in. So, um, yeah, it'll be
Absolutely.
fun. Looking forward to having a lot of these conversations. And, um, you know, we appreciate anyone who listens and anyone who, you know,
For
I'm sure a
sure.
bunch of people dropped out at the beginning. They were like, oh, it's just them two. Turn it off. But yeah, anyone who
If you
listens,
skip
man, we
forward
appreciate
to
it.
the back end of this, yeah, we for sure
Thank
appreciate it.
you
Like we
too.
said, reach out literally about anything, you know, if it's anything from music. If you dislike something, obviously this is still really early on. We need any feedback we can get. You know, if you
Would
didn't like the
love
video
feedback.
quality or the setup, I know one thing we've improved on and been intentional about this time is the audio, so we've worked on that. Just different things. If you don't like some, please let us know. If you like some, let us know. Even if you do like something, you don't say anything, we still love you. Appreciate you listening. So,
Thank you.
you
But
know,
yeah,
thank you guys
feedback's always
for
appreciated
listening,
and we need
for
it
sure.
because we don't know what the hell we're doing. But I have a
At
mic
all.
this time.
At all.
So hopefully it doesn't sound
There you
like
go.
I'm eating a microphone and yelling at you like it did on the last one. So
No, we appreciate y'all listening. Like I said, next episode will be out in roughly 2.5 weeks from when you're hearing this. It'll be probably early August, first week of August. Yeah, first week of August.
yeah.
And it'll be with a really, really cool, fun, special person that I think will have a lot to offer in terms of just conversation and insight into a different world that I know neither of us can relate to or speak on. So that's
Nope.
gonna be
Yeah,
a
it'll be
really
great.
great conversation. We look forward to it. But again, thank you guys for listening. And we'll be back soon.
Slowly, then it went left, went Ginobili when life got crazy. Like I'm living it twice, all the shit in my mind on my way back to you. Had 20 in the tank and a pocket full of change, but I made that shit last with you. Before life got crazy,